If you're a podcaster that dreams of leveraging your podcast to build an online business with a steady stream of ideal fit clients, listen up. On October 1st, I'm launching registration for my online business academy for podcasters. This is the only online business academy specifically for podcasters that are wanting to build their business with a podcast first marketing strategy. If you're ready to put social media and paid marketing strategies on the back burner and focus on connecting with ideal potential clients with your podcast, this membership is for you. Now, this next part is really important, so listen up. I'm capping the membership roster at 50 total podcasters, and the price is going to increase after the first 20 podcasters sign up. Use the link in the show notes or go directly to www.podcastingbusiness.school to get on the wait list so you get first dibs on the 50 roster spots. I'm motivated to help 50 podcasters create a steady stream of meaningful monthly income with their online business, and I'm backing this offer with a $5,000 guarantee. I'm guaranteeing that you will bring in at least $5,000 in new revenue with new clients with your online business within your first 12 months in the academy. And if you don't, I will keep coaching you within the academy for free until you do. Head on over to www.podcastingbusiness.school for all the details. What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters how to love their podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. If you are a service provider, a coach, or a consultant, and you're looking to learn how to leverage your podcast to build your online business and get more clients, you are in the right spot. Today, we've got another online business call-in Q&A episode. My pod pal, Kathy C., is asking me about a optimized discovery call process. I'm loving doing these, by the way. Great job on sending in awesome questions. If you guys want to send in an online business question for me to answer right here on the show, then just submit your audio with the link in the show notes for this episode. 2 minutes or less, and make sure that you shout out the name of your show, just like Kathy does here at the beginning of this audio clip. So without any further delay, let's play the question from Kathy C.
This is Kathy Koliakovo from the Marketing Your Private Practice with Kathy C podcast. And my online business question for Adam is, when you're doing consults, how do you keep to a time limit so that you can effectively hear from the person that you're talking with what their problems are and offer a solution and a step forward and the options that you have without getting into too much detail? So how can you keep it succinct so that you are sticking to a 15 or 20 minute kind of limit on what you're doing with them? Thanks, Adam, for
All right. So great question, Kathy C. And I just want to clarify. So she uses the term consult. I'm going to kind of lump in consults, a free consult, a discovery call, a free strategy session, a sales call into kind of one bucket, because most of the time we're all talking about the same thing. So I know Kathy really well. I know that, what I call a discovery call, what she calls a free consult, same thing. So let's look at what she's asking here. So the question is, how do we run an effective discovery call in 20 minutes? Like, how do we not turn this into an hour-long free coaching call is basically what we're looking at here as a goal. So the first thing I want to do is define an effective discovery call in my terms. So to me, the first key thing with an effective discovery call is that myself and that person are both clear on their main issue, on what they're dealing with. So that's the first thing that's really important. The second thing is I want to be able to make a suggestion on how to solve their main issue. So I'm going to be like, if this was me, this is what I would do. Or if you were paying me, this is what I would suggest. And then the third part is we're going to discuss what programs or services I've got. They're going to help them solve their main issue. So I'll tell them how I would solve it. Be like, hey, this is what I would do. If you want me to help you accelerate this process, here are the programs or the service that I have that would help you do that faster or more effectively or in a more optimized way. So those are the three ways that if I can accomplish those three things, I feel like that's an effective discovery call. Now, Kathy's like, how do we do all this in 20 minutes? So my podcast profit potential discovery calls are 20 minutes long. And every once in a while, it'll be 25 minutes. But that's mainly when I'm closing deals, like the business is happening and we're like just talking about setting up payment. I will gladly extend that time. What we want to avoid is people going, okay, it's 20 minutes. They go, well, can I ask another question? Can I ask another question? Can I ask another? And now it's turning into a 30 or 45-minute free coaching session. So there are a couple of important steps that I want to look at here for optimizing this process so that you can analyze the situation, prescribe a solution, talk about working together, and really maintain control of the conversation along the way to fit it in. I like 20 minutes. 15 minutes would be a little bit tight for me. 20 minutes works well for me. If you're just getting started, it might be 25 to 30. I really want you to try to stay under 30 just because I personally feel like if I'm coaching somebody or, on a situation like this, if it's going over 30 minutes, somebody should be paying me because they're getting a lot of value out of that. I know there is a school of thought. There are people that have been my clients that are like, I do a free hour or a free 90-minute. But a lot of times those people are really seasoned salespeople. Sometimes not, but a lot of times they are. And they have high ticket stuff that have a really high closing ratio. So yeah, they're going to spend 90 minutes with you to get a 20K sale. And they'll do that all day long. I probably would too. So a lot of us are looking at like a $97 membership or signature programs and services that are somewhere in that $500 to $3,000 range typically. All right. So if you're in that category, then sticking that 30 minutes or less for a discovery call. I like 20 minutes personally for myself. Let's talk about a couple steps to optimize this process so that we can make it effective for you, effective for the person in that seat, and also, keep it all under that 20-minute time limit. First important step, we've got to optimize the onboarding process with 2 key questions. They hop on your calendar, they get into that Calendly link, they're signing up. There are 2 very important things that we must take care of before we even talk to this person. And if we don't take care of these 2 things, this is where it's going to stretch into a really long free coaching call. So the first thing we have to be able to figure out in the onboarding process with important questions are, what are their pain points? The second thing is, what is their budget for solving the top pain point? So even if you just have, what's your name? What's your email address? What are you struggling with right now? Check all that apply. And each one of those check boxes, you need to make sure that you have a service that is a solution for. That's going to be important. So only provide check boxes that you have a service that you can, use to solve the problem. So for me, it could be like, I'm struggling to launch my podcast. I'm struggling to grow my podcast. I'm struggling to use my podcast to get clients. I'm struggling to build my online business platform. I'll ask those types of questions. What are your pain points? Because I have solutions for all of those. I have services for all those. Now, the next question is even more important. This is where people are a little bit hesitant. And I get why, but let's get over this hump together. So people are hesitant to ask about the budget for solving the top pain point. So it's kind of in that realm of questions of like, well, how much money do you make? Or how much are you willing to throw at this? But this is an important question. And I feel like it's so important if you're not really great with face-to-face sales. Like, I'm not great at that at all. That's why I've had to set up all this prep process to set myself up to be successful in sales. If you and I are talking on a discovery call, there is like a 0% chance that I'm going to actually ask you, all right, we talked about these pain points. What's your budget for solving these pain points? I probably just won't. That would feel weird to me. So I ask it. I make the computer ask it basically in the onboarding question. So here are all the pain points. Check all that apply. What's the top one? And what is your budget for solving the top pain point? So I ask it in onboarding, and they have to answer this question if I'm going to spend 20 minutes with them. All right. They've got to answer this question. I make it mandatory or they can't book their session. So that's the way that I do it. Now, another kind of pro tip with asking for their budget for solving the top pain point is don't have an answer that starts with $0. So don't be like $0 to $100. Don't have 0 in there at all, because this is a question where we can kind of eliminate some of the tire kickers that just want a free coaching session. So I start at 500 to 1,000. That's the first bracket. Is this your budget? 500 to 1,000. If somebody isn't willing to invest at least $500 in their business to solve this issue, they're not a good client for me. And this is a discovery call to figure out if we are a good fit to work together. And if you have like $15 to invest in your podcasting business, not a good fit. All right. I've got 500 plus episodes of free content that you can lean on and hopefully build up that budget a little bit. All right. So this is important. So don't have a zero option in there. I think mine right now is like 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,500, 2,500 to 5,000, 5,000 plus, something like that. So, and make sure that you have services that fit all those things. Because what if all your offers are 500 to 1,000, somebody clicks 5,000 plus, it's not ethical for you to just go and say like, well, this is actually a $5,000 program. Everyone else is, little do you know, everyone else is paying 1,000. Like, don't be that person. That's not ethical. But do you have, don't put the brackets for the pricing out there that you don't have an offer in that price range. All right. Maybe you got something in development they could join a wait list for. Or you're trying to test the validity of something. Okay, that's fine. But let's be ethical when it comes to what we're putting on that onboarding process with those questions. So first key question, what are their pain points? Second key question in the onboarding process, what is the budget for solving their top pain point? All right. The second important step of all this happens when we actually do the discovery call. All right. So we have to have a set process that you stick to during the 20-minute session. So if it's a 20-minute discovery call, like what I do, the first 5 minutes or less, I'm going to confirm the pain point. So I'd be like, all right, Steve, so it looks like from what you filled out online, we're really dealing with a podcast growth issue here. Is that the main goal still? And they'll confirm it. And they're different like sales philosophies of like starting off with getting someone to confirm something or say yes. But I want to make sure that we're on the same page. All right. So less than 5 minutes, I'm confirming the pain point. Once we confirm the pain point, I'm going to go into discussing the best solution for them, not the best offer that I have. So if they're like, all right, we confirm podcast growth, I'll go, okay, well, as far as solutions go, I looked at the name of your show. I think there's a lot of potential for increasing what I call organic discoverability. We need to look at the name of your show. We need to look at your art. We need to look at using keywords through the host description. And, I may even throw out a few keywords like, hey, you're in the health space. I'd really like to see the word weight loss or nutrition in the title of your show or using a title extension. I'm going to spend 5 to 10 minutes discussing what I would do if I were them, knowing what I know now. Then next step, I'm going to go, okay, so is all this making sense? Yes. Let's talk about how I can help you accelerate this process or how we can work together on this solution. So we talk about organic discoverability. I've got this program or that program, and I'll go into 5 to 10 minutes of discussing the solutions that they can pay me for, and I can work together with them on the next phase of their journey. So again, less than 5 minutes confirming the pain point, 5 to 10 minutes discussing your best solution for them. What would you do if you were them? And then 5 to 10 minutes discussing how you can work together on the solution. That's a discovery call. All right. But we have to have that set process so it doesn't spill into asking me as many questions as you want. We're supposed to be here for 20 minutes, but actually we've been here for 40 minutes. And now they feel like they don't have to pay you for anything because they already got everything that they need. So having the set process that you stick to, and like you are controlling the narrative, you're controlling the situation. And that is really important. If somebody does say, hey, if you run into that situation, like, hey, do you have another question? I have another question. What I'll typically say is if it's out of the realm of their top pain point, I'd be like, well, really, we've only got time to focus on one specific pain point. I'd rather go deep than wide on that because I think I can add more value that way. And that's true. Again, being ethical, not lying, like this is very true. And also at the beginning, another thing, even before I confirm their pain point, I'd be like, hey, Steve, I want to hit the ground running. I'll make most of our 20 minutes here because I may even, if I've got somebody right after them, I'll let them know that like, hey, I got somebody right at the back edge of this. I'm not going to lie about that. But I will be like, hey, I'll confirm like this is a 20-minute deal, Steve. All right. And I'm just using the name Steve randomly. No offense or anything to any Steves out there. You guys rock. So I tell Steve, like, hey, this is 20 minutes and, that's all we got. So let's make the most of it. Let's hit the ground running. Let's confirm that pain point, discuss the best solution, talk about how we can work together. Um, and like, as I kind of transition into talking about how to work together, I'll know like, hey, we got about 7 minutes left here. I really want to transition to talking about how I can help you. So here are my top 1 or 2 suggestions that fit the budget that you gave me. All right. So I'll reference that as well. All right. Let's talk about an example. So let's again say the pain point that they filled out in their onboarding, podcast growth, price point $500 to $1,000. All right. So that's going to be at my lowest bracket that I provide there. And that's where a bunch of people are. And I totally love serving those people. So let's say this person comes to me, podcast growth. The suggestions I'm going to make in that middle part of the discovery call, like let's look at optimizing for organic discoverability. Let's look at podcast player app banner ads. And then let's look at setting up a strategy for being real strategic with our podcast guesting and getting you on ranked shows. So I'll kind of discuss that a little bit. All right. Well, if you want me to help you with all this, let's talk about how we can work together. My main suggestion would be let's start you up with a 14-day free trial inside my Download Growth Club. We cover every single one of these, and it's only $97 a month after the 14-day free trial. So if your budget is $500 to $1,000, like what you noted when you signed up for this session, that's going to get you at least 6 months inside the Download Growth Club. Most people that are in my club for 6 months are doubling their downloads. Boom. All right. And we start them off with a free trial. So that is an example of what I would be doing with a 20-minute discovery call. I really think what a lot of us, myself included, struggle with in this situation is we just want to add value regardless. And that's where we get trapped into, well, let's keep answering questions. Let's keep, just serving and serving and serving. And we have to view this differently. And I still struggle with this too. So I know, Kathy and I know each other, and she's in my Download Growth Club. She's been in that for a couple of years now. And so, we compare notes on this type of a situation. But what really helps me is I view this as a bridge. It's from the free zone into the paid accelerated results zone. So I owe it to that person that's sitting in that discovery call seat to deliver an effective discovery call process. Because what if they're kind of thinking about working with me, and that's the real, like, once they pay me, then that's the real big next step they really need to make so I can help them accelerate everything. But what if I let it string out? It turns into a 45-minute free coaching session. They feel like they got what they needed. They don't need to hire me. And then the results stall because of that. So keeping it to 20 minutes, going, let's analyze what you're dealing with. Let's look at your budget. Let's look at solutions that I would do. Let's look at how my solutions compare inside your budget, what fits there. Let's talk about working together, because that's the next best step that we can make. All right. So view this as a bridge. It's not free. It's not paid. It's the in between, and view it as something different. And if you give it that type of attention and focus going into a discovery call, I think that you'll be able to run it more effectively and stick to your 20-minute time limit, or whatever your time limit is. All right. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, if discovery calls are something you really want to work on, I want you to take a peek at my online business academy for podcasters. We're cracking the lid on that on Tuesday, October 1st. I'm opening it up for membership registration. I've got a wait list that you can join right now to be a founding member and lock in founding member pricing. That will be in the link in the episode notes here. You can also go to the main website, podcastingbusiness.school, and click on the paid services tab, and you will see the online business academy for podcasters. I've got an entire module on how I set up discovery calls. And with our group training, like, we're going to be able to dial in your discovery call process specifically. So you'll get my direct thoughts and opinions on what you need to be doing, like how to name it. Like I call mine the podcast profit potential discovery call. You have to have an effective name. You can't just call it a discovery call. That will lead to a lot of tire kickers and freebie seekers, and we don't want that. So lots of little nuances that we can work together on. And this is an important part of the process. You heard a couple episodes ago, I talked about how discovery calls are my main KPI, my main key performance indicator. If I do 15 or more discovery calls per month, I know that's going to be a good business month. All right. So this is a skill that it took me about 5 years to learn. I would love to help you. Like I said, this is that in between. This is that connector. Maybe you're getting a lot of people consuming your free content. They're not buying your paid content. Optimizing your discovery call process may be a part of the issue, that why your listeners are not becoming your clients. All right. I'd love to help you optimize that. Hop on that wait list and get first dibs on those discounted founding member seats with the link in the show notes. We, again, are opening the doors October 1st. Super excited about that, pals. All right. That is all for today's episode. I would love to answer your online business question. Submit that with a link in the episode notes here. 2 minutes or less. Follow the process that Kathy did. Let me know your name, the name of your podcast, and then do your online business question. I'll air it and you'll get some promo of your show. Make sure you guys go and follow Kathy C. She's got a great podcast. All right. I'm going to send you out in the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We will see you next time. Breaking news, Pod Pals. My online business academy for podcasters will be launching on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. This is the only online business academy just for podcasters that want to leverage their show to build an online business and get more clients. If you're interested in earning meaningful income every month with a podcast-first marketing strategy, this membership is for you. And this membership offer is backed by my $5,000 guarantee. I'm guaranteeing that you will gain at least $5,000 in new revenue and new clients within your first 12 months of being in the academy. And if you don't, I'm going to keep coaching you within the academy for free until you do. I'm capping the membership at 50 total podcasters, and the membership price goes up after the first 20 podcasters sign up. Use the link in the show notes or head on over to www.podcastingbusiness.school to get on the waitlist to join. You'll have the first chance to grab one of those 50 roster spots and get the best pricing. Everything's launching on October 1st, so grab your spot on the waitlist and get ready to take your podcast-focused online business to the next level.